You have tilled, planted, fertilized, watered, weeded, and now it's time to reap what you have grown. It's been a good year, and now you have to decide what you're going to do with all the produce you've raised. There are a number of possible ways for you to enjoy those lovely vegetables and fruits a little longer, starting with storing items in your basement or root cellar. Place them on shelves away from critters, ideally at temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. You can even use the basement window wells for smaller storage areas. A root cellar is a structure built underground or partially underground and sometimes separate from the house. These locations are good for short-term storage of apples, potatoes, turnips, carrots, beets, onions, cabbage, winter squash, and even canned goods such as preserves and jams. These locations also are ideal for ripening green tomatoes. If there's frost in the forecast, you'll want to pick all your tomatoes, even those that are not quite ripe. Use newspaper to wrap tomatoes separately. Store the wrapped tomatoes in a single layer in a cardboard box in the basement or cellar. Check on them periodically to see how the ripening process is going. Remove any that show signs of spoilage because they can affect the ones next to them. The second way you can keep your produce around for a while is by canning them. Using this method, the food is processed and sealed in airtight containers. You can can vegetables of all sorts, fruits, dairy, and even meats, including seafood. Salsa, relishes, and sauces are favorites. Pressure canning and hot water bath canning are two common methods. It's important to follow canning instructions carefully so that the food is safe to eat. Follow this link for extension information on canning. The third way to keep the produce is by freezing your harvest. Blanching and prompt cooling are essential to prepare most vegetables for freezing, except herbs and green peppers. Blanching is the process of placing vegetables in boiling water or steam to deactivate the enzymes so the vegetables don't continue to ripen. After immediately cooling and draining, you can then freeze them by the dry pack method by placing the vegetables in meal-sized bags or containers, leaving 1/2 inch of headspace. Or you can tray pack them by placing chilled, well-drained vegetables in a single layer on shallow trays or pans. Once they're frozen, transfer them to freezer bags. This allows you to easily remove individual items. Make sure to label everything with the produce and the date, using bags specifically designed for freezer use to keep products from drying out. A fourth suggestion is to dehydrate your produce. If kept under proper conditions, your produce should not spoil. There is, however, a loss of the vitamins A and C due to heat and air contact during the process. It takes vegetables about 6 to 16 hours to dehydrate and fruits 12 to 48 hours. There are all sorts of countertop dehydrators available, or you can use your oven. Produce that can be dehydrated include apples, strawberries, carrots, green beans, beets, corn, mushrooms, onions, peas, peppers, potatoes, tomatoes, zucchini, and broccoli. Air drying works well for chili peppers, garlic, and herbs. These can be gathered in bunches and hung in a cool, dry place to dry. For herbs, place paper sacks around them once they're dry to keep them dust-free. A final storage suggestion has been used for years: vegetable pits. Cold stored fruits and vegetables are the next best thing to fresh picked. The pit is a hole dug into the ground with a storage unit such as a lidded trash can inside, then mulch placed over the top. You can retrieve vegetables as you need them. If freezing temperatures are forecast, cover the storage pit with 1 foot or more of mulch, straw, or hay for insulation. You'll want to use the produce before the ground freezes. You have a number of ways to store your fruits and vegetables for extended use. The choice is up to you. Be careful not to cut or bruise them. The less handled, the longer they'll keep in storage. And most of all, enjoy your hard work. This was written by Robert and Amy Green, UNL Master Gardeners since 2007. I'm Kathleen Q with the University of Nebraska Extension.